If planners keep pushing back on your fee, it's not because your rate's too high. It's because something far more important is missing, and most speakers never fix this. Now, many speakers, they obsess over higher pricing when bookings slow down, and they lower their fees. They negotiate themselves as the lead negotiator against themselves because they fear rejection, or they don't want to feel rejected, right? So what you do is like you initially have a discussion about like, here's my fee, but if you can't, you don't say but, you leave it there, right? But the truth, honestly, about all this is simple. Price resistance is almost never about price. In this video, I'm going to show you what's actually causing pushback, how to fix it instantly, which in turn will change how your fee is received. And if you do this properly, you can actually raise your fees as a speaker, get what you know you're actually worth, and feel phenomenal about the fee you're getting, and also feel great on stage delivering, right? We're going to cover these points. So the first thing is, the real problem is unclear value. Now, you may go like, no, I'm valuable. It's not the issue. When value isn't clear, price feels risky. And what I know about my life and being a speaker and the people I coach that are speakers is when they start worrying about the fee, it's not that they actually believe they're not good as speakers, it's because they don't know for sure that what they have is what somebody wants. That's where rejection comes from. What if I give this quote or this fee and they all of a sudden don't like this? That's going to happen. Just so you know, like it's okay. But here's the truth. When you can learn to take that situation and frame it in a way that gives you actual strength for the next discussion, because you had some feedback, you refine it, you come back better and better over time, you learn what value is. What you think value is isn't usually what they think value is. See, planners aren't going to ask, is it too expensive? They're asking, is it worth it? It's the thing. People are having you come in. They're not saying it's expensive. They're going, is this worth it, right? Because clarity, it reduces friction faster than discounts on your fee ever will. So how does this work? Like, how do you show up like this? Well, think about it this way. When I am producing a price and I'm sharing it out there, if I am worried about the value, it's not because I don't think my story is valuable. It's because I haven't found a way to make them see the value. And a lot of that comes from communicating what the outcome is going to be from me actually showing up on that stage and delivering something for the audience. The outcome meaning, what do they have in their heads and their hearts as both impact, inspiration, and then a mechanism to use walking out that door. That's what a value is. Because if you bring a mechanism that can solve problems for them, you are way more valuable than you know. They're not looking at the price point of what you charge based on, well, has this person been speaking for 5 to 10 years and who else have they spoken for? No, they're going to sit back and go, look, we have this point of reference that's a struggle for us. We're having this whole event right now to help us fix this one problem for our team. We need somebody that can address this problem. We have our way of doing it, but we need somebody else to come in and corroborate the story, right? Or to give an additional angle of perception on this thing so our people can buy into this, get things moving, and we as a company can make more revenue, right? That's what a company wants to do. And so what happens is if I can create a solution that will solve their problem, I am valuable. The story isn't going to do it. It's the message. It's the takeaways. What's the outcome of me being on stage that they're going to go, oh, let's do it. And now what happens, it's way easier to share your price. It's way easier to talk about what you do because what you do helps them. And they want the help, right? People have events because they want to bring a speaker in. You're not having to get them to think, oh, I got to talk them into bringing a speaker. They already want a speaker. They already have a budget for somebody. They're looking for the right fit. And when you can communicate your value, you can show why you're the right fit. So that's the big piece. The second point of this is, hey, I hope you're enjoying this video right now. Now, I want to let you know that I developed a speaker quiz that reveals what your speaker type is, the strength of your type, and more importantly, how to capitalize on that type to build an impactful and income-producing speaking business. To get this quiz and take it and get the information you need, simply hit the link you see below in the description, or you can wait till the end of the video to head over and check it out. All right, that's it. Let's get back to it. You're selling time instead of transformation. You're struggling because you're trying to sell your hour on stage or a 60-minute keynote. That 60-minute keynote language, it commoditizes you. It makes you look like just another speaker, right? But transformation language will elevate you. It'll make you so much different. High-fee speakers, they sell outcomes. They sell the destination, like I just said, not the time on stage. I have been in situations where I've been paid my full fee, $25,000, to give a 5-minute keynote. I don't know. It started at 20 minutes. They're like, hey, based on time, we got to cut to 15. I'm like, all right, 15. Eventually, the day of it was 5 minutes. And I was like, all right, I'm going to zip through some slides. In fact, I was like, hey, I need to take out like 10 slides because there's no way I'm going to get through all that in 5 minutes. It was precise. It was point. It was the hardest speech I've ever given, to be quite honest, because I couldn't get everything in. But I do know this. What they wanted was not the time, it was the outcome that people got from the language I shared. And so when you're giving a speech or going to try to market yourself to give a speech, you're not supposed to be talking about, I'm going to give a 60-minute talk and 30 minutes of this and 5 minutes of this. No one cares. You're not an hourly worker. You're a value base. Your value. And so what you have to find out is, how do you sell the outcome, the transformation, the destination, what people are going to think like or be like after you're done, that's going to benefit their company in their time of need. When you can language that properly, you're going to find yourself booked more than you can handle. The third struggle that people run into is they have weak positioning, which creates price sensitivity. So if you sound like everybody else, your language is the same, or your social media looks the exact same, you address the same problems without unique solutions, your pricing, it's like everybody else's because you sound like them, so you're probably priced like them, right? Whereas if you have a niche you dive into and you have clarity in that niche and a specific outcome, you have pricing power. See, nobody talks about dark work. No one besides me in the world talks about, in my manner, the work you do in the dark that allows you to win in the light. People talk about doing hard work. They talk about managing their time. They talk about hustling, right? But dark work is mine. No one else has dark work. It's not the only message that's useful in the world. It's one of millions of ideas and messages and books, right? But dark work, it's mine. And I can talk to what dark work does. It helps optimize people's identities for peak performance. It helps you show up to defining moments in life with a mentality of, I have done too much work in the dark to lose in the light. It's guttural sense of ownership of what I am capable of doing. It gives people a powerful sense of personal agency, right? That's the outcome I'm delivering. Imagine having a team of people that are what I call dominators, not submitters. There's a submitter or a dominator. A submitter submits to hard stuff. They submit to excuses. They submit to defamation of other people talking bad about them. They submit to difficulty. When competition shows up, they crumble. Dominators, they pursue difficulty. They overcome obstacles. They can't wait for the next challenge because they've gone through a crucible that's hardened them differently. They lean on the thing that they know is true. They trust their judgment. They trust their dream more than they trust the fear. There's a separation there. So when I'm talking to a group of people, I don't price myself at the lower level because I don't have language at that lower level. I know my value. I know what I give as an outcome. And so I can position myself better, which gives me pricing power. Because if they want a team of people that are dominators who know how to do dark work, good luck finding somebody else to talk about it, right? So generalists, they get negotiated prices. Specialists, they got respect. They get locked in. They get to the point of being a name and a persona because no one else does what they do. And what they do, a lot of people need. That can and should be you. The fourth point to cover is that a lot of people have a lack of proof, which makes price feel risky, right? If you don't have the testimonials and the labels and the logos, right? Well, yes, testimonials and case studies and repeat clients, that removes fear, but when risk goes down, price tolerance goes up, which means the more proof you get, the better it is. Proof doesn't brag, it reassures. So how do you get proof? You do as many reps as you can. You get testimonials from people. You get different language from people who have, there's 3 ways to do it, in my opinion. You want to get a testimonial on what it's like to work with you, to hire you, to work with you as a professional in the business side. Second, what is it like to experience you on stage? What do you do? How do you flow? Third, what do people think is possible now that you're off stage? What does the audience think they can go do and navigate in life because they've learned this thing from you? And so what your job is to do is to get repetitions. You might have to do some free gigs to begin with. I had to. We all kind of have to. You don't have to do them free forever. And you're not doing them for free if you're getting the proof point that allows you to have the proof that reassures people. If you've done the speech and given it, whether you get paid or not, the audience in the testimonial and the person who booked you can give reassurance to a future person through testimonials, video or written, and through language that has them go, all right, this person's vetted. Whenever I did television, I did TV shows, Ninja Warrior, Mental Samurai, Remote Survival, the 1% Club. I've done a lot of weird stuff. But the thing is there's this statement that I've found to be true, and I get told this all the time. TV loves TV. But the fact that one TV show vetted you and said, yep, good enough for television, tells other TV shows good enough for television, right? And so that's the thing you got to think about. How can I get those marks, those checks of like good to go that I can then progress forward with and use in my backpack of tools to get the next gig and the next gig and the next gig? It's a big piece of it all. The last point 5, fix the system, not the number. The business system, right? Strengthen your message. It is part of the system. Clarify your outcome. It's part of the system. Improve your proof. It's part of the system. Like the rate takes care of itself when the system is right. And also, the system is a big piece of how they experience you. So here's the one thing that I don't think people pay attention to when you have a speaking business. They don't realize that when somebody touches base with you or they get to interact with you, they are now going to be into a system and they're feeling out how professional it feels. Imagine if you all of a sudden went to, I don't know, a place that you ordered some food, right? And the person at the counter was like taking your order and then walking away. They're on their phone checking stuff. And then they took your order, they wrote it down, and then they left it on the side of the register, didn't take it anywhere. And you're sitting there going, I paid for this, but I think the ticket's there. How's someone going to know that my food is getting made? So you're like, hey, miss, can you put my ticket up there? And they go, oh, yeah, my bad. And they take the ticket, they put it up there for the cook to get it. The cook's wandering around, kind of pulling tickets and out of order, just different stuff that looks like it's easier to cook. You're like, this system sucks. The food could be delicious, but I don't want to come back here again because I'm having anxiety on if my food's going to even get made in the first place, right? Or you walk in like In-N-Out, which I love In-N-Out, and it's like they ask for your order and they write it all. They take the notes, they repeat it back to you. Then when it's repeated back to you, you can see someone take the note and put it up there. In fact, they yell in the microphone, 2 patties, 2 cheese. They yell down the mic so somebody is also knowing, hey, you're getting an order's going to come up, and I'm alerting somebody out loud what to get food-wise to prepare that food so the cook has it when it's time to cook it, right? There's a system there. Then they have somebody getting the food and doing the fries and then doing the hamburger patties and putting the buns and everything together. And they got one person that's over there making the milkshakes when they come up. And then they get your order and they put it in a bag and they walk up. Order number 672, right? It's a whole machine. The burger tastes good, which is amazing, but the system, I feel good, right? I'm like, oh, I'm going to get my food and order. I feel awesome, right? Imagine if somebody gets into your ecosystem of your business. They go to your website, they click a button, they don't get an email back. They submit and never get a response that even the submission took place, right? Then they're like, oh, this person's going to call back. Or you do call them and it's like it's the wrong person that they're talking to, or like you're not prepared for the conversation. You don't even ask the right questions. And they're like, I don't know, right? This person look all right on social media, right? But I don't know if I'm actually getting through. Or like they send some to you and no one confirms. Like it's just weird. Or like they're like, hey, can you get me this? You missed the date. The system sucks. But what if they reach out, put their name and email in, an automated reply says, hey, we got your response. We'll be back to you in 24 to 48 hours. Then you follow back up. Hi, I had your inquiry. Here's what I do know about the inquiry you have for a speech. It looks like Anthony is available on these dates, and these dates. Would you like to hop on a phone call to discuss rates and if he could be a good fit? And then the team schedules the call. They get a reminder for that call. They show up to the call, and the team goes through a couple conversational questions to make sure it's validated, it's a good fit. They go, great, Anthony's available. What's the price you have or a budget? And they talk through that thing. It's a whole system. Then they sign the contract. The contract's sent, it's organized. The next call is set up for us to do our pre-event discovery call. We have the call, I take notes, we get the slides to them in time. Like it's a system. They feel comfortable. The price isn't an issue anymore because they're like, man, this person is a pro. People will pay for professionalism. Just the fact that you operate like a pro, that you're not a headache and they don't have to worry about you showing up or being on time or things getting done or making their brand look bad. Think about that. You're being brought into a room full of strangers that only management typically knows. And if you can't function well, they're not going to feel confident putting you in front of their people. That's the most important asset that they have. And so for you, you better come across professionals that go, wow, this person's dialed in. I'm excited to introduce our people to them because I know that if they're this organized, just in the front part of it, they're going to be killer on that stage. That's the energy you want the people to have when they think about you being a speaker for their event. It will not happen by accident. You got to plan and strategize that. So you have to improve your message and what it is and how you communicate that. Communicate clearly your outcome. So they go, wow, that sounds like a great outcome. The language is clean and concise. Your proof, here's what I've done and who I've done it for and what they've thought about me delivering my speech, right? And then the system of conversations and calls and all the stuff leading up. When you do this with a sense of ownership of what's taking place, it is like shooting fish in a barrel. Because more and more people, in my experience, are great speakers, but unprofessional business owners. And so I get a leg up purely by word of mouth from saying, hey, this guy is easy to work with. My simple statement I say is be completely forgettable off stage, unforgettable on stage. That's the goal. If you do that properly, people will love you. You just got to pay attention to doing it, right? So your rate, it's not the issue. Your positioning is, right? Fix that. The pricing stops being a fight every time. Everything moves smoothly. And if you want help with this, system and fixing the process, all the things behind getting higher fees, go to speaktofreedom.com. This is what we do as a company. What I do every single day is help navigate this for you specifically. If not, I'll see you in the next video.